joined by a special guest from NSDC. We're joined by Mr. Venkatesh Sarvasiddhi, Senior Head, Digital Skills, Innovations, Partnership, and CSR at NSDC. We welcome Mr. Venkatesh. Thank you so much for joining us in the inaugural of second edition of Global Education and Skill Conclave organized by APAC News Network. And I'll be hearing about digital skills for digitally empowered knowledge society from you. So over to you, Venkatesh. Your thoughts on that?
Thanks, Souvik, first of all, and the APAC network for inviting me, and good afternoon to all the participants who are here today. Uh, I think talking about digital skills in an era where we are hit by a pandemic like COVID makes it more relevant than what it was earlier. So we have seen at NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, which is an apex body in skilling ecosystem across the nation. When the pandemic started way back in the March 2020, time frame, we were absolutely unprepared, or whole of the system was quite thinking that this will go away in a span of, let's say, a month or 2 months or 3 months. Nobody expected. Even now, we don't have a clarity with the third wave and setting in of other waves post this. We don't have still that clarity established how we will be able to open up the economies in which manner, right? We are also seeing a surge in COVID numbers worldwide also with the Delta variant. So keeping these situations and conditions in mind, we were supposed to move our workloads from physical infrastructure to an online and digital space, right from schools, colleges, and the ecosystems. If you look at India, India has a very interesting insight to share. We have close to 1.65 million schools. In fact, it's an interesting thing to note that we have 4 times more schools than what China has, and we have close to 44,000 higher educational institutions. I think none of the countries globally, if you look into, can match up to the scale of what we have in terms of schools or colleges. In terms of the quantity is concerned, there's a large ecosystem. So when you look into these ecosystems, again, these are structured across cities, towns, and villages, and majority of them are in small towns and villages where networks, issues, challenges, and also tools which can take you online are still a challenge. So when this pandemic has hit, it has forced everyone, not only the ecosystems of schools and children and education, but also even household people now connect and talk to their relatives and friends and families through Zoom or on video calls and stuff like that, because things have changed and nobody has planned for it. But what has happened at NSDC, interestingly, is we have close to 20,000 training centers, and we have presence in more than 700 plus of districts out of 855 with our Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, which are PMs, which are Prime Minister's centers of excellence, which are set up in almost every district of India. Now, our challenge was to continue the education, stay connected, at the same time look out for opportunities to connect them with modern age tools and drive adoption. Thanks to a lot of players, like whether players like in existing ones like a Microsoft Teams or a Zoom or in Google Talk or in Air Meet, or let's say in Imparters, a lot of them have come forward to support during this time frame, offering free services, extension of their existing ones to our ecosystem of skilling, and making sure that we have a support structure that can be extended to millions of people in the country. That's number one. Second is also the need of content. For example, digital doesn't mean only that you're connecting using a broadband connection. And thanks to Jio, the rates of the broadband in India are much cheaper than any other country. And also the coverage today, we have the broadband coverage almost spreading into villages and expanding there actively. There's a lot of telecom players who have played a major role in making sure the broadband facilities are available. They are available at cheapest of the price, so people can get connected. Now, the important thing, coming back to digital, constitutes of 3 aspects, I would say. Number one is your infrastructure, so that you have your devices, your networks, and everything. Second is your digital content. The second pillar, how the content from a textbook oriented and a physical teaching oriented can be made into digitally viable content. And the third pillar is how well our tutors, our teachers are tech enabled to further teach the new age generation, because millennial and the new age Gen Z population are very fast in adoption of technology because they've been grown up with tablets and devices, wherein the teacher communities and the tutor communities are not that connected to these ecosystems because of their patterns and structures being very different when they grew up. Of course, they're adopting technology, but again, these people have to adopt technology at a faster pace to enhance the training and connect with the students. So that's again a disconnect. That's the third pillar, enabling your tutors and teachers and all of that. So at NSDC, I will share some of the success factors we had. On a technology front, we partnered with some of the biggest of the players, whether it is TCS or LMSs, or we brought in imparters, new age startups, which can help us with technology tools in ensuring that the physical classrooms are transformed into digital classrooms, from a technology standpoint. We brought in Upgrad. We got in a lot of partners, not one, and worldwide partners as well as India partners. We brought them together. And one of the key things I would say in the last 1.5 year, or as we go forward also, is important to drive all of this is collaboration. So we ensured that we collaborated with the likes of Microsoft and Amazons. At the same time, we collaborated with the Indian players like TCS and others who are very active. And also, the not to ignore, but the important aspect is the startups like Baiju or a White Hat Junior. We've always been connected in that ecosystem to bring the new age tools and technologies as platforms. Now, the other side is the content side. We turned around very fast and we looked into what are the existing content which is available in a digital formats. That means that we need to partner with edX or a Coursera or a Udemy or a Baiju to get content, or maybe players like Microsoft, Amazon. They all have their learning academies. So our immediate objective is to talk to all these large organizations, a Salesforce in CRM or a Microsoft Azure, and bring those guys, or Cisco's Networking Academy, bring those existing, already built-in technology content and aggregate that content through a centralized site called eSkill India. This was a very interesting initiative we have done. We started doing that, and today we landed more than 47 partnerships, both global as well as national, who are helping us with content and content related and innovative content, which is updated content on Industry 4.0. What are the skills that are required? We brought all that content free of cost, and we ensured that that is aggregated on eSkill India, which is again free of cost, so that everybody can afford, not just few people, but again at the bottom of the pyramid also everybody can access. So that kind of an content aggregation really helped us. And the third piece was training the teachers or the tutors or the trainers. So we adopted and we built in train the trainer kind of concepts, and we have conducted a lot of webinars to train that capacity, how to use these technologies, how to use the platforms, so that they can further empower the student community. So using these three pillars and the kind of an structured activity, today we are able to see a huge amount of growth on eSkill India number of people audience. There are more than 10 million, people who are accessing the content and enrolling into the different examinations and all that stuff. We have seen a fantastic growth in eSkill India in terms of numbers. And also, as I said, the common important word is collaboration, bringing in that collaboration between large players, global MNCs, to Indian large companies and startups. If these three can come together and also deliver seamless experiences through the community of teachers and tutors, I think these are some of the best practices we have seen in digitally engaging with this Gen Z or millennial populations, in empowering them and helping them to be skilled in different areas.
Thank you so much. Venkatesh Sarvasiddhi, Senior Head, Digital Skills Innovation Partnership and CSR at National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, and you elaborately told about various initiatives being undertaken in the last 1.5 years, especially in the last 1.5 year, and how important role digital skills is going to play and will be playing, especially in the new world order, and the kind of partnerships we are already having. And I can tell you that APAC will be ready to partner with your organization as well, to create that meaningful dialogue, to bring communities together for bringing an effective knowledge economy with digitally empowered skilled workforce. Thank you so much. That was Venkatesh Sarvasiddhi, Senior Head Digital Skills of NSDC, who joined us for the inaugural of second edition of Global Educational Skill Conclave.